Anti-Trump lefties who insist on blaming everyone else for their loss in November have pointed the finger at Russia for interfering in our election in favor of Donald Trump. In other words, Donald Trump won because Vladimir Putin put him there. That's their logic. That's how the conspiracy theory goes. But why is the news media ignoring the cozy relationship that Bill and Hillary Clinton have had with Russia themselves over the years? You know, it was Hillary back in 2009 who, quote, reset relations with the communist nation, and a year later said, our goal is to help strengthen Russia. Deroy Murdock joins me right now with more. And, you know, Deroy, reset, that's one thing. But you say, you know, really what people ought to be focusing on is that shady uranium deal. Fill us in, because people need to hear the details of that one again, especially when there's all these accusations that Putin put Trump there.
Yeah, the whole idea is that President Trump is Vladimir Putin's puppet, and let's focus on that and investigate this. And nobody seems to want to look into what the Clintons' dealings have been with Russia. The shadiest of all the deals is one called Uranium One. And this is a company that is Canadian-based and had assets of uranium all around the world, including 20% of the U.S. uranium capacity. In steps a company called Rosatom, which is the the Russian government atomic energy company, and they step in to buy a majority stake in this company. Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, had some say about this. She was part of a committee that is supposed to look into foreign asset sales that have some national security repercussions, and this one did, because you're dealing with uranium. And just 3 weeks after the Russian company said it wanted to buy Uranium One, Bill Clinton flies over to Moscow and gives a talk to a bank called Renaissance Capital, gets paid $500,000 while his wife is deciding on this.
And Renaissance Capital had an interest.
They were promoting this transaction, as a matter of fact, correct. And about the same time all this was going on, the people who were invested in Uranium One gave a lot of money to the Clinton Foundation before, during, and after this decision, $145 million. It's a tremendous amount of money. And sure enough, despite the complaints of people like Congresswoman Ilyana Ross-Lehtinen, Congressman Peter King, and others that this would be very bad for U.S. national security, this deal was approved. It was approved very quickly. And now Vladimir Putin controls 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. And the Clintons were able to take $145 million in their foundation.
And nobody's interested in talking really about this. I mean, I can remember being at CGI events in New York, for example, also Chicago. And you'd look around and there were, you know, kind of some sketchy people there, right? Billionaires from countries that you'd never heard of that had donated and in that case gained some kind of legitimacy, if you would, from the stamp of the Clinton Foundation. What, you know, I know, you know, it did some good here and there, but you look at the ratios even as a charity, and their expense structure was enormous compared to what you would expect from any other charity.
I think the actual amount of money that they gave in grants, if I remember correctly, was something around, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8%, something like that, compared to legitimate charities, which give, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60% or more of their funds. So they put a lot of money into administrative expenses. Who knows where else this money went? And there are other deals. There's one called Skolkovo, which is sort of a high-tech city that the Russians put together just outside Moscow. The State Department promoted this. They took 22 U.S. venture capitalists over there. The State Department, while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, was very much in favor of this. And of the 28 sort of big donors who are big angels behind this, 17 of them gave money to the Clinton Foundation, which is about 2/3 of them, roughly. So again, all these connections between Russians and money going to the Clintons, and nobody wants to talk about this while everyone's focused on these illusory and magic ties between
you are. Everybody
the Kremlin
should check out your article at National Review. Thank you so much, Deroy. Good to have you here. We'll be right back.